All right, round 3. We have a 2-drop play, and I guess we're keeping it. I don't think this hand's great, but I don't think this doesn't seem like a hand that we should mulligan. The fact that I can actually, it's reasonable draw. Ooh, not a bad draw there either. So we get to go Coral Helm Guide. Maybe we even rip a Tajuru Stalwart now, and then we're in business. Another Grixis Void deck. Molten Nursery. Uh-oh. That spells trouble. Oh my god. That was the ugliest draw. That actually was the worst draw we could have gotten there. That was an ugly one. All right. All right. Ugly draws happen. Wow. Molten Nursery into Molten Nursery, his first spells of the game. That is tremendously scary. Pilgrim's Eye. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. All right. It spells trouble. All right. Let's see how much legwork this Tajuru Beastmaster does for us. Kind of want my opponent to play a 5-power creature so I can Hedron Network before I play the 5-power creature. Prism Array. Well, I think Beastmaster's priority here. Double Hedron Network in hand. God, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Like I said, the problem is now that I've played a 5-power guy, I can't really... Well, I guess that's not the worst. Oh, no. He has outnumbered too? Bummer. What a bummer. All right. Losing everything. Snapping Gnarlage, sure. Guess we play Nissa's Renewal now. Can at least converge 4 on our Prism Array. Yeah, I definitely built this deck incorrectly. I should have just gone for the most atrocious mana base. Would have made more sense. But, I mean, main deck I'm so awful anyway, it doesn't really matter. Double Hedron Network, that stupid land, that's horrible. Kiora. It's not like Kiora would have done much, to be honest. Prevented a little bit of damage to me, that's about it. Well, that's not what I wanted to see. How did my opponent lose? Still trying to figure that out. How in God's name did my opponent lose a match with that deck? Guess he did get pretty lucky with the double Molten Nursery, though. Ooh, exert influence. Well, let's steal this little fella, then. This little guy. Could take the Nettle Drone instead. I don't like that, though. Doesn't make sense to me. And then we'll go Prism Array. So now we just draw Defiant Bloodlord and we're in decent shape. Opponent doesn't have a ton of gas left. So he can just deal damage to us in response, which sucks, but it looks like he forgot. Alright, I didn't want to draw an island anyway, so that's acceptable. Oof. Infiltrator's ugly. Yeah, opponent's deck looks insanely good. It's just been all value the whole way. Misintruder and Oracle of Dust probably being the weakest cards. Molten Nursery certainly looks good when they're the first two cards you play, like I said. Pretty good when they're the first two cards you play. Absolutely. I don't think anybody can really argue that. I'm in huge trouble. I have no idea what to do here. I can't attack. Staying back doesn't prevent damage to me. Pretty much just losing every way, shape, or form. And my opponent has two Molten Nurseries while I have two aligned Hedron Networks in my hand. That's awful, to say the least. I guess I just got to let myself get ingested for a little bit here. I don't like it. I hate it, as a matter of fact. I despise it. But I think that's just what we're going to do. We're on Reef Invoker. It's too bad. That would have been useful. Tightening Coils, I guess would have been useful. Well, Territorial Bailout's an actual card. Still can't attack with Oracle of Dust into a Vestige blocker. Alright. Alright, I guess we'll tap this. Well, I absolutely did not want to draw Shrine of the Forsaken God, so I'll accept that. Defiant Bloodlord would be good. Would be good here. Oof. It's not what I wanted to see. Ooh, to get the Bloodlord. It's kind of nice, actually. Let's swing with Baloth. Can I afford to? So swing with Baloth. Play Bloodlord. Opponent pings. If they swing with everything, it's fine, actually. I mean, we're not going to win if I don't attack, so I might as well attack. We can pay for spell shrivel. That's pretty sweet. So, that's too bad for us. All right. Well, like I said, I don't think Molten Nursery is the best card, but when it is the first 2 cards that you play in a game, yeah, and your deck's all colorless, then it's pretty good. I'll give you. I'll concede that point. Not big on the Molten Nursery totem pole are my picks, but first 2 spells of the game and your deck's all colorless, yeah. Yep, pretty good. Guess that we are very dead, so irrelevant what I do here. Doesn't really matter. It's interesting that he would prefer to have the vestige to the culling drone. I guess he'd rather have the 4 toughness. Doesn't really matter. We're pretty dead here. Opponent's like, I'll just show you more cards. I don't care. Why wouldn't I just kill you? I don't need to just kill you. I'm going to show you more cards. That's how little I care. That's how badly I'm beating you. I'll just show you more cards, whatever. All right. Let's get rid of this. Let's, of course, get rid of these pieces of garbage. Let's bring in Sheer Drop. Well, yeah, probably Sheer Drop again. Anticipate coming in. Oh, yeah, what did I cut last time? A forest? Probably did. Wasn't an island. I can't remember. I think it was a forest, though. All right. Gone, gone, gone. Up, up. There you go. And let's bring in... Tightening Coils is worse when your opponent's playing Molten Nursery, but Bone Splinter is just too terrible in our deck with no creatures. Let's probably maybe Myers Mouse again. Yeah, I still think Myers Mouse is probably more useful than Sheer Drop. Our opponent's running Molten Nursery, so being able to get rid of ways to value... Well, let's dump the Abomination, actually, and then bring in the Sheer Drop. Let's do that. I still like that. I don't think Abomination's very good in our deck. Okay, let's try this out. We'll play first. It's probably the worst hand I've ever seen. This one's good, though. So, Fertile Thicket, finding a blue mana, ideally. At least our opponent mulled too. Opponent goes to 5. Can't ask for better. All right, bottoming the swamp because we don't want to draw a swamp, pretty much. All right. Do want an island, I guess a mountain maybe. All right, got the island, which is good, but bottoming a bunch of good cards, unfortunately. All of those there. Prism Array's like our bread and butter. All right. Let's go Gnarlid. Gnarly Gnarlid. That was actually a good draw. So let's go Vents. Invoker. Pass. All right. Insanely good value for our opponent, especially on the mull 5. First time we've seen the Touch the Void, I should add. All right. Looks like we're just going to be playing a Nullifier to continue the beats. Vile Aggregate. Our opponent's deck is insane. My opponent's probably really, really sad he lost whatever round he lost. He's probably asking himself, how did that possibly happen? How did I lose a round with my insane deck? That is incredibly, incredibly good. And I don't have a good answer for him. I have to agree with him. I don't know how he lost. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, didn't want to see that, but nothing to be done. At least I can block a Vile Aggregate. All right. But I guess now I can't attack into it, so bit of an issue there. All right, Baloth. I guess Baloth into Beastmaster makes some sense. So that way I can go land, swing for 7 at the very least. Although I don't even need to play. No, I guess we just play Beast. No, I guess I have to play land now, don't I? All right, well, it's not a huge deal. I need to get build towards Oran Reef Invoker anyway, so why not? Swing with both. All right. Gains the life. Yeah, Rune Processor holds down the board fairly well. Guess we do have Tightening Coils in here somewhere. I'm playing lands to build towards Oran Reef Invoker, although I admit it's kind of irrelevant at the moment, since a 7/7 does not beat a 7/8. If I can find Tightening Coils, though, we're in actually pretty good shape. All right, well, I'll settle for a Defiant Bloodlord. So keeping the land around, I guess, because I don't know yet. Silent Skimmer. Well, not overly concerned about that. Opponent forgot to use the Nettle Drone. He even got the trigger, so I don't know why he didn't use it. Ooh. I like anticipating. Sure. Sounds good to me. So let's... All right. Concession. Interesting. Okay. So beat our opponent's mull to 5. My opponent loses to my deck. He's probably going to kill himself, which is actually pretty sad. I don't want my opponent to kill himself in real life. That would be horrible. But I'm just thinking I would if I was my opponent with that deck and lost to this pile of turd that I'm running here. All right, well, I guess we're geared about as well as we can be. So let's try it again. Yeah, we got to keep this. How could I not keep this? Anticipate into painful truths. Opponent snap keeps now. He's like, oh, my friend, I am going to destroy you. And I can't really disagree with him yet. Well, at least he didn't play a Misintruder. I guess that's good. Ooh, Gnarlid. Well, plans have changed. So now we get to go Gnarlid into Painful Truths? Not bad. Oof. Vile Aggregate's ugly for us. Wouldn't mind seeing a Tightening Coils. Baloth. Alright, well. Guess we'll Painful Truths here. Draw some... Ooh, Exert Influence. Well, we've got all 5 colors, too. Guess we dump the blue mana. Didn't attack, which doesn't make sense in my mind, but I appreciate it. So options. I definitely have some options here. I can play Kiora. Not sure what it does. My opponent's got Outnumber mana. Well, let's make him use Outnumber then. Alright, didn't use Outnumber, so I guess we play Kiora. I need to just soak up some damage till I can get like Exert Influence online. Steal that aggregate. I think Kiora's just gonna die. And I might have to just accept that. So maybe I just play Kiora and use the -2 so I get some value out of it. It's not the worst idea I've ever had. Otherwise I can anticipate, but I don't know what good that really does me. Maybe I do wait on Kiora, but the problem is the Nettle Drone's just gonna, well, I guess Nettle Drone taking damage from there is probably fine. Let's go anticipate. Defiant Bloodlord, Natural Connection. I guess probably the Bloodlord. Something to do. So next turn we're going to Exert Influence, Aggregate. Alright. Not the worst. Decided to attack this time. Unsure why now and not before. This is renewal. Well, that's okay. Sifter's not bad, though. I think we're probably still going to steal a Vile Aggregate, because then we can play Sifter for more value. So let's swing with Gnarlid. Although, then he can crack back because this is going to... All right, let's influence this thing. We need to prevent some damage. We're a wee bit behind at the moment. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use Niss's Renewal either. So next turn we can go Baloth or we can go Sifter. Alright, that's a huge bummer, but bummers happen. Trying to think if I can go... I have no other life gain. That's unfortunate. So I can go Kiora plus Catacomb Sifter, is that right? I go Kiora. Yeah, it actually is fine. Get in some damage and Jest. I do need to play land, however, but that's okay. Let's go Kiora. Untap. Green mana. An aggregate. Guess it doesn't matter. Play Sifter. Get in, because we kind of need to deal some damage here. Hopefully hit something relevant. Swamp is maybe relevant, I guess. Opponent is off black mana at the moment. Oof. Yeah, a tough one to win. Tough one to win, but it's going to be close at least. All right. So, ooh, Shambling Vent seems pretty important. So, yeah. All right. So if we can live a turn, we're actually okay. It doesn't have haste even though I can untap it with Kiora. So we swing with everything. We play Shambling Vent. We untap Aggregate and Vent, play Defiant Bloodlord. That seems like the play. Pretty unlikely we're getting out of this without dying. He just plays and he untaps, pings us, goes to 4, plays the thing, 3, 2, 1. We go to 4. He plays a spell. He untaps. We go to 3. We go to 2. Do we go to 1? Guess it's theoretically possible. Because, all right. I feel like it's theoretically possible to win, albeit unlikely. I'm trying to think if I'm going to have to use Cures -2. There's a decent chance of that. Tightening coils doesn't do so much here. All right. So let me think. I use Cures -2. What am I hoping to draw? I don't know. Nothing of too much substance. So I use Shambling Vent to go back up to 4. We still are going to die. Well, I have to activate this. That much is clear. And it's a colorless creature, right? Or is it not? No. It's white and black. So maybe I should have used... Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if I use Cure first or not. I basically had to. I'm just thinking I could untap Shambling Vent, but then I still don't have the white mana. Like, I can play a black mana. It's not good enough, though. I just don't think there's a creature card that does anything, right? Not that I can see. Tajuru Beastmaster I can't play. Even if I could, I still needed to attack with the Shambling Vent. Is there like a colorless creature I could draw? I don't have Abomination. I could draw Pilgrim's Eye, which I guess is... I don't know. It just seems like something I'm probably going to have to do. Nullifier. Well, it actually is okay. It's not great, though. So I can flash it in to get the extra damage with Aggregate, maybe. Okay. We could theoretically win this. Opponent just needs to play 2 spells and he wins, though. Two colorless spells. Or a Touch of the Void. I mean, it feels like an obvious play, right? If you have 2 colorless spells and you have 5 mana and you can play them both, you just play them and then kill us with Molten Nursery. Because I feel like our opponent could have won without doing that, right? Our opponent could have just... Opponent could have just left their Nettle Drone alive. Like, they didn't even need to do it this way. If our opponent does, in fact, have lethal, they didn't need to do it this way. Man, that'd be a really, really mean move if my opponent prolonged it this long just to kill me. All right. So ended up going 2-1 with this disgraceful deck. Like I said, my opponent is probably really upset right now that he just lost. I'm trying to think. Couldn't he have blocked differently? Isn't there a way he could have kept his... Let me think. So I attack with all of my stuff, right? And the nullifier was absolutely necessary. Because we needed to kill that Kozilek Sentinel, right? Yeah, because he had complete disregard, so we would have died, for sure. So we needed an actual colorless creature like that. I'm trying to think if he could have blocked in a way that made it so he didn't die. He was at 2 life, so I guess he needed to block. He did need to block. I didn't even realize that it really did come down to that last attack. But yeah, so how many... Let's do a final count on rares. We ended up playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 rares. Pretty good rare count. Beyond the aligned Hedron networks, the deck was... It could have been better. Like I said, I did not design it correctly, main deck, but it turned out to not be that big of a deal because our main deck was atrocious anyway, with double aligned Hedron network and stupid Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. That's pointless in this deck. So, despite having 3 basically dead cards main deck and an ill-conceived mana base, we managed to get there. And I'm glad that I could get some cool plays, like Aligned Hedron Network, connected on one dude, one time, worth it. On a Vile Aggregate, I mean, it was an important play. Aligned Hedron Network did some work. I think we... Did we end up winning that game? Was that... Because we ended up winning that match, so I feel like, yes, we did, but we might not have, now that I think about it. I'm not... Yeah, actually we did. We won game 1, and Aligned Hedron Network helped a lot, and then we lost game 2 and won game 3. That's right, in match 2. Okay. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the rare draft. 2-1 is... I'm very, very happy with a 2-1 performance with this deck, so... I'm not going to complain about that at all. And we even got the cool Defiant Bloodlord Shambling Vent synergy at one point for the win, essentially. Pretty awesome. All right, that's all I have to say. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy Thanksgiving once again, and we'll talk to you soon.